from the Real News Radio, Farron and Brian reporting the news, the puppet media dare not report. We're going to go ahead and give out the phone number. This is a forum for you, the listeners, to call in, say what's on your mind. If you'd like to agree, disagree, some points you'd like to make, feel free to. The phone number is 1-866-986-6397. Let me give that out again. 1-866-986-NEWS or 6397. Our website's therealnewsradio.com. You can email us on air at therealnewsradio.com, and I urge everyone to go to the libertynewsradio.com website for a great source of news and information. So while we're waiting to see about some phone calls, Brian, go ahead and get us started with any news that you'd like to report.
This is a piece of perspective here. You know, we offer news and perspective here at the Real News Radio. Farron and I both hold, regular jobs, and we don't make really any money off this, so we're kind of limited on our ability to do research here, folks, so please bear with us. This is an article by James Howard Kunstler, Monumentally Tragic Disappointment on the Horizon. A broad consensus is formed in the news media and among government mouthpieces and even among some of the bearish investors on the street that the worst is behind us in this tortured economy. This view is completely crazy. It will only lead us to massive disappointment in a few weeks or months from now, and that disappointment will easily transmute into political trouble. One might even call the situation tragic, except a closer look at the sordid spectacle of what American culture has become. A non-stop circus of the 7 deadly sins suggests that we deserve to be punished by history. The reason behind this mass delusion is not hard to find. It's based on wishing, especially the wish to retain all the comforts, conveniences, luxuries, and leisure that have become a normal part of American life. These are now ebbing away at big gobs for most of the population, while a tiny fraction of the well-connected pile on ever larger heaps of swag, enjoying even more privilege. Those in the broad bottom 95% was content for a long time that there is a chance they could be members of the top 5% by dint of car dealing or house building or mortgage selling or some other venture enabled by easy credit and a smile. Those days are now gone. The bottom 95% are now left with the laminating houses they can't make payments on, no prospect for gainful work, the repo men hiding in the bushes to snatch up the PT Cruiser, cut off cable service, Kraft mac and cheese if they're lucky, and Larry Summers telling them their troubles are over. In 2005, I said then the greatest danger this society faced would be its inclination to gear up a campaign to sustain the unsustainable at all costs, rather than face the need to make new arrangements for daily life. That appears to be exactly what happened. History is clearly presenting us with a new set of mandates. Get local, get finer, downscale, and you will better get going on it right away. Prepare now, or nature will whack you upside the head with it not too long from now. Attempting to maintain anything on a gigantic scale will turn out to be a losing proposition, whether it's military control of people in Central Asia or colossal bureaucracies run here in the United States. It seems to me that the situation in the USA is so fundamentally bad, so unpromising, and so booby-trapped for failure that I wonder if there has ever been a society so badly deluded as ours. We're prisoners of our wishes, living in a strange dream time, oblivious to the forces gathering at the margins of our vision, lost in the wilderness of our own making. Anything can happen now. I certainly wouldn't rule out the international mischief as we arc into free fall. Whatever else happens, I'm sure it'll be interesting to see the public's reaction to Wall Street's announcement of Christmas bonuses this year. The folks at Rockefeller Center better be thinking about getting a fireproof tree this year.
Well, I totally agree with that. And while we've got just a few minutes here, Brian, before we go to break, let's put into perspective what we actually see here in America today. Not only do we have the economic collapse, which, as we try to say every time I say economic collapse, is by design. We've got the swine flu hoax coming up. everyone out of work, the mortgages upside down, the looting of the Treasury, and cap and trade on the horizon. We've got the Obama health care on the horizon. Is the American people really going to sit back this time and let the government totally take over control of everything, health care, the auto industries? Or are we poised for a second revolution? And I hope that people have wisen up, have had enough, and are ready for a second revolution. We're going to go to the phones. Bill, you're on the Real News today.
Hello? Sam on
Hello,
the
how you doing?
News?
Yes, sir.
Have you listened to Lou Dobbs lately?
No, sir, I can't say that I have.
I used to listen to him regularly, and he really laid low the stimulus bill. He laid it low, the government taking over General Motors. He was the first one that I ever heard mention that the Federal Reserve had done away with trillions of dollars and nobody could call them for an accounting. All right. All of a sudden there was a woman on Lou Dobbs' program and he wasn't on it for about 3 weeks. And I wondered why. I told my wife they have cracked down on Lou Dobbs and took him off the air and put him on him. She was a sheep woman. She stood for nothing the time that she was on. O'Reilly, Thursday night, he said that they had terribly criticized Lou Dobbs' wife and his child, and it come out on a program on NBC. And since then, and they accused Lou Dobbs of being against immigration. O'Reilly said that Lou Dobbs was not against immigration, but he was against illegal immigration. But they lied about it and trumped it up against Lou Dobbs. Now, when he come back on the air, it's Mr. Lou Dobbs, the sheep man. He no longer is really telling the truth and exposing the criminal activities that are going on in Washington. They have hammered him down, my friend, and they're going to do that to anybody that's against the Washington conspiracy. And I wanted to alert you that so that this might alert our folk as to what's going on. Anybody that opposes the Obama situation, the Federal Reserve, the Illuminati, you can look out from Washington. You're going to be hit hard and hard plenty. They're suppressing free speech. What do you feel about it?
Well, I agree with you 100%. That's why so much of your mainstream press, the puppet press, and I know there's a lot of fans of Rush Limbaugh and these others, that's why they don't come out and report the real news, the powers behind the scene, the Illuminati that are controlling the puppet president and has for decades. But I agree with you 100%. We've got just a couple minutes before we go to break, so I'd like to give you the last word.
Well, this is what is disturbing me. You know, that's against the Constitution, the right for free press. And, others in the civil rights movement, and I'm talking about Brother J.J. Jackson, they could come out and criticize anybody any way they wanted to. Nobody said a thing about it. But somebody now that comes on the news in a real good broadcast and criticizes this administration, you can look out. They're going to cut them down any way that they can cut them down, lying, false accusations, or whatever. That's the quality and the character of the Obama administration.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate your comments. I think you made a lot of good points, and we have mentioned that several times about the lack of integrity in the press in America. We're living just like in Soviet Russia with a total propaganda press, and we might as well wake up and